you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Former President Trump shot during a rally this evening in Pennsylvania. The president was heard rushed away by Secret Service. Pictures here showing the former president's bloodied face. Secret Service agents surrounding him after he ducked behind a podium when those shots were fired. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Ben Dennis. Justin, we are now hearing from witnesses of that shooting at that rally. Take a listen.
More like what we heard. The bullets rattling around the grandstand. One hit the speaker tower, and then chaos broke. We hit the ground, and the police converged to the grandstands.
You know, right now, according to law enforcement officials, the suspected shooter is dead, as well as someone who was attending that rally. We also just learned another attendee was taken to the hospital. The Secret Service says the former president is safe. He says that he was shot in the upper right portion of his ear just moments ago is what he says online. Law enforcement officials also say shooting at the Trump rally, it's being investigated as an attempted assassination of the ex-president. President Joe Biden just addressed the shooting a short time ago. He's in Delaware right now. Take a listen.
Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot.
And we have team coverage tonight. The White House is, of course, monitoring this situation. That's where our Dave Laval is standing by with how locals and lawmakers are responding. So the former president is at the hospital. But first, we want to get to our national correspondent with more.
A searing moment Saturday afternoon. Former President Donald Trump rushed away from a rally after the sound of gunshots rang out.
That said, take a look at what happened.
Former President Trump grabbed his face and ducked, Secret Service rushing to the stage to protect him.
Wait.
As they lift him up, a fist pump from the former president. Photos show what appears to be blood on his face. His spokesperson says President Trump is fine and being checked out at a local medical facility. The Secret Service adds the former president is safe. The White House says President Biden received a briefing on the incident. In a statement, President Biden says he's grateful former President Trump is safe and is praying for him, his family, and those at the rally. As the investigation begins, well wishes are pouring in from both parties. In Washington, I'm Vinay Simlot.
All right, as we mentioned before, our Dave Laval is joining us live from outside of the White House at Lafayette Square Park with reaction from the crowd that's gathered there. Dave, what's going on?
Well, right now we can tell you Lafayette Square remains shut down until further notice. Visitors told us it happened shortly after word about the attack on the former president took place. The park, if you've been down here, you know it's one of the places people pass through to get up close to the White House fence. We've got some, I can't tell if they're protesters beside me that are making statements regarding what happened. But as we said, Park Police and Secret Service Police have closed off all the entrances around the White House here on the north side, the east, west, all around the White House. So this is as close as you're going to be able to get to it. Earlier, we talked to several people about the attack on the former president, including some people from the DMV. Here's what they had to say.
It's shocking, right? We don't expect that this is going to happen, but I think they're just going to have to take even more precautions going forward. Hopefully, he turns out okay, everything's fine.
It's sad, I mean, whatever party you stand with, you don't want to see things escalate to violence. So whether it was Joe Biden on that stand or whether it's Donald Trump on that stand, they both have children and nobody wants to see their dad shot on live television.
And again, Lafayette Square remains closed until further notice. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, we'll check in with you in just a few moments. This video right here is showing the moment that Trump's motorcade sped away from that rally. We are also hearing from somebody who was in the front row. That was Pennsylvania Republican Senate candidate Dave McCormick. He told Politico it appeared that somebody just behind him was shot. He described the scene, quote, all of a sudden, shots started to crack. Someone behind me appeared to have been shot. There was lots of blood. And then the Secret Service was all over President Trump. The Secret Service, meantime, released a statement saying that they implemented protective measures and the former president is safe. This is now an active Secret Service investigation, and further information will be released when it's available. Meantime, the founder of the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism sat down with our sister station, KTLA, and explains the Secret Service response.
What I think you're looking at is a textbook response by specialized folks in the Secret Service, as well as, and that's the thing, I don't know if that's the counter assault team that were the SWAT folks that responded or local police. But the bottom line is what you had is he went to the ground, then textbook, they surrounded him and they got him to that armored SUV vehicle and out of the area.
That expert also praised the SWAT team in attendance who turned their back on the former president. You can see it right there and look through the crowd searching for suspected gunmen. We've got much more on that breaking news in just a few moments. We do want to get to your local headlines that involves your forecast. Hey, Scott.
Hello, Ben, and hello to you out there. Right now, we're warm, but not as warm as the 95 we hit today. Average should be 90, and our record for today was 100, sat back in 1954. Right now, we're sitting at 86 degrees, but it feels like with a little bit more humidity now than we had yesterday, up to 91 at this current hour of 9:06. Now, looking ahead into tomorrow, what can we expect here in the district? This model is a little bit high. I've got us at 97 for an afternoon high, but the heat indices, as you can see, approaching, if not exceeding 100 degrees in the district. Mid-90s in the Hagerstown region and lower 90s in the Leesburg, Virginia region. So needless to say, no matter how you slice it, it is going to be a warm one tomorrow and a hot one in general over the next couple of days. As you can see, all three locations here, DC, Hagerstown, and Leesburg, all sitting in the 90s, middle and upper 90s, most locations. So with that being said, our weather headlines here, the heat and humidity is making a comeback here. So will the thunderstorms. We'll talk about that. And extremely hot and humid on Tuesday. But a cold front arrives Thursday, and that should help alleviate some of this heat and humidity. We'll talk about that, too, in the main weather.
All right, Scott, thank you. We'll see you in a few minutes. In your local news, 7 people are hurt after a multi-vehicle crash last night in Montgomery County. Officials responded to I-270 between exit 6 and 8 in Rockville around 11 p.m. First responders say all 7 victims had non-life-threatening injuries. In the district, police say a woman is dead after a shooting near Fort DuPont Park in Southeast. Officials responded there on Fort DuPont Drive around 2:35 p.m. just today. Police found the woman dead on scene when they got there. They are looking for a white sedan with heavy tinted windows in connection to that shooting.
People have this whole addiction thing wrong. We are all humans. We all fall short of something.
Folks across the DMV hit the National Mall earlier today for the 4th annual Lost Voices of Fentanyl rally. Founded back in 2019, organizers were raising awareness about the epidemic and pressuring lawmakers to introduce changes to curb the drug's influence in the U.S.
I'm here to our nation's capital, and we go in front of the White House because we're pretty much begging and pleading them to just listen to us and do something that's going to make real change, because what they're doing, we got dead bodies as proof. There is no real change.
We're going to revolt against this murder of our kids and the poisoning of America. It's the #1 duty of the United States to protect its citizenry, and they're not doing it for this because they can stand behind the stigma of drug use and the people who are self-administrating it.
Lost Voices of Fentanyl say they also want to declare fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. That's so the federal government could take stronger action. Well, we now know the name of the woman who was killed by a fallen tree branch in D.C.'s Capitol Hill neighborhood. Police say 35-year-old Sarah Noah was killed Wednesday morning just before 7:30. A witness tells us she was walking a dog. According to officers, witnesses heard multiple loud pops, cracks at Garfield Park before that tree branch came crashing down on Noah and pinning her underneath. They tell us she was not conscious or breathing when they arrived.
To any of us, you know, there's been so many times where I'm walking my dog and I have my headphones in and you know, just making sure she gets her walk in before we really start our day.
The District Department of Transportation Urban Forestry team says that tree was in good condition back in 2022 when an inspection was done. In the statement, the agency says all mature trees are being inspected. DC police have arrested and charged a woman for murdering a baby early last year. 35-year-old Kristen Borden is charged with first-degree murder. Police say 5-month-old Kenneth Watson was found unconscious inside of a home, sent to the hospital where he died days later. An autopsy revealed that the baby died of complications due to blunt force trauma. That investigation is ongoing. And over in Maryland, newly revealed Purple Line trains starting to be introduced to passengers from Bethesda to North Carrollton eventually, and everywhere in between by the winter of 2027. But getting here has, of course, taken years, with money being one of the biggest challenges. The delays it caused continue to be on people's minds who would use the Purple Line. Still, the latest reveal is welcome news.
Like the Mecca, and Maryland kind of gets left behind a little bit. So this connects Maryland in a way that we need to.
A reminder, the Purple Line is not part of Metro. Track testing is likely to begin at the end of the year.